the anatomy of the human doing, from achievement to self-worth. In today's digital age, a simple Google search can lead you to an individual's social media profiles, showcasing their achievements, job titles, educational backgrounds, and the extensive network of people they know. These platforms display numerous photos of their travels, often with the individual prominently in the foreground, and a curated collection of selfies enhanced with technology. While these images might hint at levels of narcissism, they offer little insight into the person's true character. Our focus on status, accomplishments, and professional identity reflects our societal values. We are obsessed with achievement, measuring personal worth by one's latest success. This fixation raises a crucial question: have we stopped recognizing each other's inherent value, seeing ourselves merely as products of our accomplishments? And if so, how does this impact our behavior and well-being? The shift from human being to human doing. We are all human beings, aren't we? Our innate humanness makes us human. So why does society often dehumanize those who don't meet expected performance standards, labeling them as losers or failures? It seems that human value is no longer based on our humanity but on how well we meet societal expectations. To be human, simply being human isn't enough these days. To be human, we have to achieve, conform, and display ourselves doing so. Thus, we've stopped seeing each other as human beings and started regarding each other as human doings. A human doing has little or no inherent worth. Its value depends on what it achieves. It derives its identity not from being but from doing, or better, from conforming to what its surroundings deem worthy of doing. Current society is geared toward achievement, especially in the material sense. We admire people who make a lot of money, are successful in their careers, and have impressive job titles attached to their LinkedIn profiles. We judge others and ourselves based on what we achieve. Hence, when meeting someone, the cardinal question is, so, what do you do? This question almost always refers to what we do for a living, our position among the working, our rank within the career-pursuing masses. Funnily enough, as this question is often asked, most people have their elevator pitches ready as if they are regurgitating their own personal product summaries, concisely demonstrating their usefulness. The asker of the question must view one's position as valuable or, at least, interesting, as one's estimation in the asker's eyes depends on it. So, you're cleaning toilets? Okay, your rank is somewhere between the unemployed and a McDonald's cook. I'm sure you'll get along well. Ah, you're a product manager? Now, we're talking. You can sit at the cool kids table between the senior marketing employee and the startup entrepreneur. So, you're a YouTuber? How's that going for you? Oh, do you mean full-time? Ah, I'm not sure which table I should assign you to. How much money do you make a month? And is YouTube an actual career? We're constantly estimating each other's worth, and the common denominator is achievement. In a society like this, which bases one's value so heavily on one's accomplishments, many start to base their self-worth on them. American psychologist Leon Festinger proposed the social comparison theory, which explains that individuals compare themselves to others as a form of measurement and self-assessment to determine where they stand. We can see this happen on social media. For example, when it comes to beauty standards, the ongoing cycle of comparison, and the effects of this on self-esteem and self-worth. We can also apply this to achievement. The so-called rat race is an example. It's a glorified pursuit of status, money, and material objects. Today's hustle culture is a rat race on steroids, always achieving, never enough, always being on one's purpose, which often refers to someone earning a fortune by dropshipping or selling overpriced courses on YouTube. And those who promote this hustle culture the loudest often profit just by selling that idea. Their hustle is selling you the dream of hustling. As a culture, we don't seem to understand the irony of all this madness, that we're willing to spend our already hard-earned money on courses teaching us a lifestyle of endless, self-defeating toil. We're eager to become slaves and even willing to pay for it. And so, many young men and women desperately seek out some internet guru who's making bank just by dictating them to work their asses off and constantly crush it. But for what? For the clacking of tongues, as the ancient Romans would say. We do it because society then perceives us as valuable, and our worth in other people's eyes increases as our achievements surge. In his book Burnout Society, South Korean-born German philosopher Byung-Chul Han describes how we've transitioned from a disciplinary society to an achievement society, saying, 21st century society is no longer a disciplinary society, but rather an achievement society. Also, Its inhabitants are no longer obedience subjects but achievement subjects. They are entrepreneurs of themselves. According to Hahn, a disciplinary society mainly tells people what they cannot do, while an achievement society emphasizes what people can do. Therefore, the disciplinary society has a negative orientation, while the achievement society has a positive orientation. The affirmation "yes, we can" is the central tenet of this society. It tells us about all the things we can do and achieve, the great things we can become, all the material stuff we can have, the status we can attain, and the praise we can get from that. It's the dream of unlimited can that we can become everything we want if we work hard. While a disciplinary society imposes work ethic on the people by means of force and penalties, an achievement society does it by selling a dream and incentives. Surprisingly, perhaps, the positive approach is more effective and efficient. We not only work harder, but we're also intrinsically motivated to work ourselves into an early grave. We're more effective slaves that don't need masters, as we're constantly whipping ourselves. At most, we hand the whips to these motivational gurus and let them whip some grinding and hustling in us. The harmful effects of the achievement society. The harmful effects of the achievement society are also apparent. Aside from the psychological strain and, eventually, burnout, this ongoing pursuit of achievement leads to, according to Hahn, the undermining of one's self-worth. When society's relentless positivity tells us we should all constantly strive to be happy and successful, when people measure each other based on productivity and success, what does that mean for those who don't conform to these ideals? Hahn further elaborates in his book, Disciplinary Society is still governed by no. Its negativity produces madmen and criminals. In contrast, achievement society creates depressives and losers. Not achieving in an achievement society is akin to societal blasphemy. The losers and failures are the ultimate sinners. Of course, you'll feel bad about yourself when considered a modern-day untouchable. And so, it's not just the dream that motivates us to achieve. It's also the nightmare of being perceived as less. For example, the neck-bearded loser living in his mom's basement playing video games, being the meme representing more or less the bottom you can reach as a man, the desire to outshine others, the emphasis on self-optimization, and the constant showcasing of ourselves on social media align with the sickness of our age, narcissism. The age of narcissism. Narcissism is today's buzzword for a reason. It's because people across the board have indeed been becoming increasingly narcissistic. We often demonize these people for being narcissists, but to what extent can we blame them? In environments that push people into becoming personal brands, always busy spotlighting themselves and competing for admiration, isn't the emergence of widespread narcissism understandable? There's a difference between narcissistic tendencies and narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD. I'll focus on narcissistic tendencies, such as a grandiose sense of self-importance, self-absorption, and the need for excessive admiration. So, with narcissist, I refer to someone with such tendencies. That said, I think we can consider the narcissist the ultimate hero of the achievement society. After all, their self almost entirely depends on how others perceive them in terms of status, importance, value, etc. Their estimation in the eyes of others, or at least, how they think others see them, is their sense of self. And so, the only way for this sense of self to survive is by fully engaging in the achievement society to be the fastest rat in the rat race, outshine all in terms of beauty, or simply put, achieve the most in any chosen area, and they don't shun exploiting others without remorse, as the goal is what counts, regardless of the means. The narcissist lives in a bubble. They're the absolute centers of their microcosms, and others serve mainly to admire or to be used. Sadly enough, our current culture hardly penalizes the behavior of these people. On the contrary, we tend to celebrate the braggadocious, pompous go-getter who often lacks morals, or the self-obsessed Instagram model amassing likes and comments. Today, being a narcissist pays. According to Hahn, it's not that these narcissists have created the achievement society. It's the achievement society that breeds narcissists, as it rewards behaviors that align with narcissistic traits. The paradox of self-worth. When your self-worth depends on what you achieve, you'll feel worthy when you accomplish what you think you need to, but unworthy when you don't. We love ourselves based on our performance because the world loves us based on our performance. And so, maintaining our self-worth requires constant striving for success. Achievement isn't a bad thing in itself. Humanity enjoys many of its past achievements today, but the positivity of constant success and achievement is only one side of life. We can't be successful all the time. We can't be constantly achieving. If we try, we'll eventually pay the price. Life also consists of failure, achieving nothing, and basically anything else that doesn't entail success and accomplishment. Moreover, for a significant part, achievement and success lie outside of our control, meaning that our worth largely depends on circumstances not up to us. Basing our self-worth on circumstances we have such limited control over puts us in an unreliable position. As long as circumstances allow us to attain societal standards and people acknowledge our achievements, we feel good about ourselves. But if we cannot comply for reasons not in our control, people see us as losers nonetheless, and our self-worth goes down the drain as well. But what's worth anyway? Isn't someone's or something's value subjective? Don't we consider something valuable because we deem it so? Of course. It's challenging not to chase what society demands, and it's probably even more difficult to deal with the consequences of doing so. However, won't generating self-worth from something more stable and attainable make it more healthy and robust? What about an inherent sense of value based on the fact we're human beings, not just human doings? What about self-worth based on pursuing what we deem important in life? We could find fulfillment in other sources. However, tapping into these sources requires the strength and courage to deviate from the world's opinion. And for most of us, that's easier said than done. The path forward, reclaiming our humanity. To escape the vicious cycle of achievement-based self-worth, we must begin by recognizing and affirming our inherent value as human beings. This involves a shift in perspective from external validation to internal fulfillment. Here are some steps we can take. 1. Cultivate self-awareness. Reflect on your values, passions, and what genuinely brings you joy and fulfillment. Understanding yourself beyond societal expectations helps in grounding your self-worth in personal significance rather than external accomplishments. 2. Set meaningful goals. Instead of chasing societal benchmarks of success, set goals that resonate with your intrinsic values and passions. These goals should be attainable and should promote personal growth and well-being. 3. Practice self-compassion. Embrace your imperfections and failures as part of the human experience. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding, just as you would a friend facing similar challenges. 4. Foster authentic relationships. Surround yourself with people who appreciate you for who you are, not for what you achieve. Authentic relationships provide emotional support and reinforce the idea that you are valuable irrespective of your accomplishments. 5. Engage in mindfulness practices. Mindfulness and meditation can help you stay present and reduce the constant comparison with others. These practices enhance self-acceptance and reduce the need for external validation. 6. Limit social media exposure. Social media often fuels the comparison game and achievement-based self-worth. Limiting your exposure can help you focus on your own journey rather than constantly comparing yourself to others. 7. Redefine success. Broaden your definition of success to include aspects such as emotional well-being, meaningful connections, and personal growth. This holistic approach acknowledges the full spectrum of human experience. 8. Promote a culture of inclusivity. Advocate for a societal shift that values diversity, empathy, and community over individual achievement. By fostering a culture of inclusivity, we can collectively move away from the narrow confines of achievement-based worth. Conclusion. The shift from seeing ourselves as human beings to human doings has profound implications on our self-worth and well-being. In a society that equates personal value with achievement, it's crucial to reclaim our inherent worth. By cultivating self-awareness, setting meaningful goals, practicing self-compassion, fostering authentic relationships, engaging in mindfulness, limiting social media exposure, redefining success, and promoting a culture of inclusivity, we can begin to see ourselves and others for who we truly are, valuable, worthy human beings. Thank you for watching.